Hello everyone, I am Sabiksha Saban and the topic that we will be discussing today is blood relations. Now blood relation is a very important, very easy and a topic on which you can expect questions in almost all the exams. So without wasting time, let's get started with the topic. So when it comes to blood relations, first, before we start with the different varieties of questions those are there, we'll have to understand certain things. So first, let's understand what is actually this blood relations. So basically, blood relations is the relation between persons. Now, this could be either related either from your mother's side or from your father's side. So all the relations that you have from your mother's side would be termed as maternal relatives. Whereas the ones that you have from your father's side, those would be termed as paternal relatives. So before digging into the different kinds of question, let's understand this relation that you're going to have from your mother's as well as father's side. So to understand that, let's have a default family tree and understand the relations. Alright, so let's see. So this is a family tree that I have made. Now in this family tree, you would see 3 generations. Now what do I mean by 3 generations? This generation where I have termed as grandparents, let us take this is your first generation, followed by the second generation, that is the parents generation. This is my second generation, and finally we come to the third generation, that is where children are gonna exist. So basically this is a family tree of a family where A and B, as you see, these are the grandparents. They have 2 children, D and E, and their spouses are C and F, and G and H are respectively the children of the couples. Now let's do one thing. Among A and B, let's say A is the male and B is a female. And similarly, in the couples that I have, let's take a D to be a male, C as a female, and similarly E to be a female and F to be a male. And let's assign one gender to the children as well. G is, let's say, a male and H is a female. Now let's understand one by one. Now one thing is pretty clear from this diagram, that is A and B, they are a couple. They are married to each other. That is signified by this bidirectional arrow. We are going to use the same notations when it comes to question. Okay, so if a couple is married or 2 people are married, I would signify them as a bidirectional arrow in between them. That would tell us that these guys are married. Now A and B are married. Now for A and B, if I say D and E, these are their children. Now D is a male, so the wife of D, that is C, what will she be related with A and B? She would be the daughter-in-law for A and B. And her relation with respect to A and B, I could say it as A would be, for C, A would be the father-in-law and B would be the mother-in-law. Now the same relation would hold true for the spouse of any other child of A and B. So basically A and B have a daughter, that is E. So the husband of E, that is F. Okay. For this person, again A and B would be his in-laws, that is mother-in-law and father-in-law. Now who would F be for A and B? Just like C was their son's wife, so she was their daughter-in-law. So similarly, F is the husband of their daughter, so F is going to be the son-in-law. This would be the term that I would use. Everyone clear with it? Now coming to the second generation. Now for the second generation, we are pretty clear about D and E. D and E are obviously brother and sister. So one word that I could use for same bloodline brother and sister would be the word siblings. Okay. So your own brother and sister would be sibling. If your uncle or your aunt is having a daughter or a son, those would be termed as cousins. Alright, now coming back to the story of C, D and E, F. Now D and E, as I said, these 2 are siblings, right? Now if I have to ask you what is the relationship between C and E, or probably C and F. So for C related to E, C is E's brother's wife. So she would be, for E, C would be sister-in-law. And similarly, vice versa, I can say for C, who would be E? E is C's husband's sister. So again, the term that has to connect both of them relatives would be, again it would be sister-in-law. Now the similar thing would exist between D and F. Now what are D and F? D and F both are boys, right? Now F is D's sister's husband. So he would be the brother-in-law for D. And vice versa will also hold true. For F, who is D, he is also the brother-in-law. So it's pretty simple. In one relation, if you're married, okay, and then apart from your husband, everybody else, that is probably your husband's, I would say siblings, or their siblings, spouses, all of them would be termed as, based on the gender. If it's a girl, she would be your sister-in-law, and if it's a boy, he would be a brother-in-law. That's as simple as that. There is no confusion. As we have in the vernacular languages, there are multiple relations we go forward, right? Bua, yeah, you can say chachi, and all of them different ones. But in English, it's pretty simple. Everybody in your generation, if you're married, those would be your in-laws. If it's a female, it's a sister-in-law. If it's a male, that would be brother-in-law. Now, coming to the third generation, that is the children generation. Now, in children generation, what do we see? We have G and we have H. So, let's say if G had one more sibling, okay, that is, say, let me take some other variable, let's say X. And X, let's say, is a female. So, X and G with one another, since they have same mother and father, these guys would be siblings. But if I try to relate H with either G or with either X, what would H be termed as? It's a cousin. And similarly for H as well, X and G would be cousins. Fine, is this clear? Now coming to how can I relate this children generation with the parent generation and the grandparents. Now obviously G and H for A and B, irrespective it is their son's children or their daughter's children, they'll be termed as what? They'll be termed as grandchildren. That is, if it's a boy, I would call as grandson. If it's a girl, I would call her as the granddaughter. Similarly, now G and H, if I try to relate them with the second generation parent that is there, C and D are parents of G, that is pretty clear. Now, if I ask you what would be G for E? So, for E, G is what? Her brother's son. So, her brother's son would be termed as nephew. And similarly, H is a female, right? So, if I try to relate H with respect to C and D, so for C and D, it is D's sister's child. So, she would be termed as niece. So, these are the relationships with respect to parent and the children generation. I hope everyone is clear. This is very important. You get this relations properly, because when it comes to word problems, there would be questions where you will see, words or people getting related through relations. So if you're not able to identify relations, how would you solve the question? Okay, so make sure you've understood these relations perfectly. Now without wasting time, since we have done all the theory, let's start with the different kinds of question. So starting with the first type of question. Now what is it? It is deciphering data from jumbled up description. Now what do we mean by here? These are single line or probably 3-4 line questions where there would be some people involved and then some relations in between them. And what is your task? You have to decode what is the relation given in that question and accordingly answer that question. Now, how are we going to proceed it? Now, basically, there are two ways in which you can solve this question. One way is you draw a figure, that is what I will be proceeding with. Or the second thing that we can do for solving this question is you could assume you are one of the character in the story and then you can proceed with it. Now in both the situation, whether it is the diagrammatic approach or it is whether you put yourself in the situation and decode, remember one important thing is you will not assume your gender. Yes, you got me right. You will not assume your gender to be the gender of the person whose character you have picked up from the story. Okay, this is a very important thing in order to avoid mistakes that you're going to do with respect to questions. Okay, then point number 2 is whatever characters are given in the story, their name will not tell you the gender, but instead the relationship, how that name is related in the question, is going to tell you the gender. For say, when I read this question, introducing a man, Neeraj is saying something. So only this much section of the question if I pick up, so I get to know there's a character called Neeraj. Now generally you would say, oh, Neeraj is a name we give to a boy. So you will by default assume that Neeraj is a boy, isn't it? But that is incorrect with respect to blood relations. We are supposed to get the gender of the person through the story that is given and not through the name that is given. Idea clear? Okay. So under this, let's start decoding this question. So for the diagrammatic approach, how are we supposed to proceed? So how many characters do I have? One character that I can prominently see is definitely Neeraj. Do I know the gender of Neeraj? No, I do not. I'll have to look for it in the story. Okay, then Neeraj is actually talking about a man. So let me draw that man as well over here. It's a man, so obviously I know it's a boy. I by default know the gender. Now what is happening? Neeraj says his wife. Whose wife? The man's is having a wife. That means the man is married. Okay. His wife is the only daughter of my wife. Now what do we come to know over here? A very important thing, that Neeraj is having a wife. Now if Neeraj is having a wife, that means Neeraj is married and Neeraj is having a wife. So that means Neeraj has to be a boy, because then only there can be a couple of husband and wife, right? So if Neeraj is a boy, that's how I get to know the gender of the character Neeraj. Did you get the point? This was the point I was saying. We will not assume the gender through name, but we'll try to get it through the relationship. So we get to know that Neeraj is married, has a wife, and that is how I conclude Neeraj is a boy. Alright, now getting back to the question. So Neeraj said his wife, whose wife? The man's wife, is the only daughter of my wife. So Neeraj's wife is having a daughter. And this daughter, Neeraj's wife's daughter, that means obviously Neeraj's daughter, correct? And this daughter is actually the wife of the man. So can I basically say this story is not separate, but basically it's like Neeraj having a wife, then they have a daughter, and this daughter is actually married to the man in our story. So that's the relation that they are trying to tell you in the story. Got the point? Now, what is the question stating now? How is Neeraj related to that man? So I can see the man is married to Neeraj's daughter. So who will be the man with respect to Neeraj? Man has to be the son-in-law, isn't it? So vice versa, if I try to write, who will be Neeraj to the man? Neeraj would be the father-in-law. Getting the idea, everybody? So our answer is option C. So this completes our first variety of question, where you'll have some 3-4 statements given. You'll have to draw, decode, understand the relations and get your answer. Idea clear? Okay. So now let's move to the second variety of question. Now, before moving to actually the second variety, let's just try out one more. So what you can do, we have already done one question of this kind. You could just pause this video for a second, try this question and then check the solution. That will make sure that you have understood the concept of blood relations. Alright, come on, let's move it. Pointing to a man on the stage, Rita is saying something. So there's a man and then there is Rita. Now what's happening? Pointing to the man on the stage, Rita is saying he is the brother of the daughter of the wife of my husband. Now again, I'm not assuming gender of Rita, but it's said by Rita that she is having a husband. So if Rita is having a husband, that means Rita is a girl, right? I got the gender of Rita. Now, what is she saying? He is the brother. Who is the brother? The man is the brother of the daughter of the wife of my husband. So Rita's husband is actually having a daughter. That means it's again Rita's daughter also. So Rita's husband's daughter has a brother. So that means Rita and her husband, they have one more son, and that brother is who? He is the brother she's saying. So who's that he? That he is the man. So that means the man comes down here. So this is the family tree for the question. So what is the question now stating? How is the man on the stage related to Rita? So the man is basically the son of Rita. So your answer would be option A. Idea clear, everyone? It's very, very simple category. Okay, now let's quickly move to the next variety of question. Now this is another type of question that you get in blood relations, that is puzzles based on blood relations. Now this is the kind of question which generally is more scoring, because you see the length of the question, there's so much data given, okay, and generally you have 2-3 questions below it to answer. So what is your task? Read the question carefully, draw a family tree for it, deduce out the relation and answer your question. Okay, so let's check what is the question saying. Now they say there is a family of 6 members, A to F. There are different professions like lawyer, doctor, teacher, salesman, engineer and accountant. They are not in the order in which the names are being given. So don't just assume that A is a lawyer, B is a teacher and blah blah blah. No, that's wrong. They are jumbled up. Then this is giving you one more important thing, that there are 2 married couples in the family. A very important point. Next, D, the salesman is married. So here on I am having some data pertaining to how I am supposed to draw the family tree for this question. Okay, now for puzzle based blood relations, few things that you'll have to consider. First is try to deduce out how many couples are there in your question. Now we were lucky in this question, it's directly given. How many do we have? There are 2 married couples in the family. Now why do you have to look for these married couples? Basically, these married couples which you have in this blood relation, you're supposed to place them only in the first or the second generation. That means we will never place these married couples in the children generation. That is why it is important you figure out how many married couples are there. Alright, then there is some data. In that data, identify whether how many generations would be included in your question. Generations in the sense, there are parents, there are grandparents, are there great grandparents, are there grandchildren, how many are there? Generally, you pick up any question of puzzles in blood relation, the maximum number of generations you will come across is 3. Okay, but there could be an exception of 1 or 2 where the number of generations might be more. But in general, if you come across a question, you're reading it and let's say you're not able to identify how many generations are there. So you could generally just assume 3 and try to see if your question fits in. In most of the time, it will fit in. Okay, so in this question, how do I identify how many generations are there? So the last statement itself I can see, somebody is a grandmother of F, right? So this is the maximum relation. If I go through the question, I can see its grandmother is the maximum relation given. And grandmother would exist only if there are grandparents, right? So I would take first generation as grandparents, the second one for children, and the third one, second one for parents, and the third one for children. So now the skeleton of the family would be, these are grandparents, then there could be parents, and then I'll have to relate with the children. Okay, the couples would not come up in your children generation, remember that. Now let's check the data. It says D, the salesman, okay, so D is the salesman, is married to a lady teacher. So D is married to a teacher who is a lady. So that means what? D would be a boy. That is how we decide. Next, the doctor is married to a lawyer. The doctor is married to lawyer. So we actually get the professions of both the couples that are there. Now, F, the accountant, is the son of B. Fine. F is the accountant. Son, that means we know F is a boy. And son of who? Son of B. And brother of E. So that means F has one more sibling, that is E. We are yet to figure out whose children are these. Let's see. Now C, the lawyer, is the daughter-in-law of A. Now see, C, the lawyer, we know doctor and lawyer was a pair. So C, the lawyer, is actually the daughter-in-law. That means C will be a girl. And whose daughter-in-law is she? She is the daughter-in-law of A. Now, if C, the daughter-in-law of A, that means C's husband has to be the child of A, isn't it? And we know one couple is grandparents. So definitely who would be the grandparents? D would be the grandfather, who's the salesman, is married to a girl. And obviously through this data, that C, the lawyer, is the daughter-in-law of A has to be the mother-in-law of C, isn't it? Because D is the father-in-law. And there's no such data available here. And you cannot just idly place A outside as a, a widow or something and then relate with C. Why? Otherwise that will clash with the number of members in the family. There are only 6 members. Getting that? So by default I'll have to place A as the grandmother, who is the teacher. Then they have a son who is the doctor. We are yet to figure out who is the doctor. And their daughter-in-law is C, who is the lawyer. Alright, now E is the unmarried engineer. Alright, we had this E to be the sibling of F is the engineer. A is the grandmother of F. Now if A is the grandmother of F, obviously this F being the son of B. So who is B? B has to be the son of A. And then we can place these two people, F the accountant and E the engineer, as the grandchildren of D and D. So this completes our family tree. Now once the family tree is complete, it's very easy to answer the question. So let's see, what is the profession of B? So what is the profession of B? I can see it's doctor. So option B would be the answer. Idea clear? So just carefully try to revise the points that I've told you with respect to blood relation puzzles. Okay, it's important. Now let's move to the next type. The next type is coded relationship questions. Now what is the difference? This is ideally a subtype of the first type of question, but the difference is instead of statements, they'll give you certain symbols through which they are going to relate with the relatives. Okay, so let's see how to decode them. Now the question is telling you what? Okay, read the question first, not the data that is given. So it says, which of the following means T is nephew of R? So through this statement, T is nephew of R, whose gender do you get to know? T is somebody's nephew, right? So we get to know T is a boy. Okay, this is your step number 1 for coded relation questions. What you'll do? Through the question, identify whose gender are they concerned about. So in this question, they're concerned about T being a boy. Now, second step, go to the description or the data that is given, and from there, deduce out the symbols which paired along with T will give you guarantee that T will be a boy. Okay, so if I read P multiplied by Q, P is brother of Q. So if P is brother of somebody, brother, that means a boy. So when does P become a boy? When there is multiplication sign followed after P. So obviously if T has to be a boy, what can I say? After T, I should have multiplication sign following. So this is the first symbol which I can check with the options and figure out my answer. Alright, then let's go with the next one. Plus sign means mother, not worth for me because I need T to be a boy. Next part, minus sign means sister. This is also not useful to me. Fourth one, P divided by Q means P is the father of Q. So if P is the father, automatically P becomes a boy. So division sign is the other sign that I'm looking for. So another pair of signs that I can have with T is division. This is your step number 2. And now what is your step number 3? Just look at the options and check which options has either of these sign combination. Whichever has, that's your answer. So first option, does it have T followed by multiplication or division? No, so gone. Second, there is no multiplication division, that is also gone. Third one, yes, it is having T followed by multiplication. So obviously third option should be your answer. Okay, so now for this question I was lucky, I just had only one option. If say there are more than one options, you will have to solve. Now how to solve these particular option, that's the thing we'll be doing with the next question. Got it? Check this out. So the next question is kind of similar. There are certain symbols, but this time the option is having the relationship. It's not having these combination based 4 options just like the previous question. Okay, so all we have to see is how we can simplify this part. So what you do, go from left side to right side, pairing 2 at a time. So first simplify P at the rate Q. What does at the rate mean? First person is the husband of the second person. So that means P would be the husband of who? The husband of Q. So definitely Q would be the wife or a girl. Next part, Q $M. What does dollar mean? The first person is the mother of the second person. So Q is the mother of who? Is the mother of M. So basically M is the child of P and Q. Next last part, M hash T. What does hash mean? It means A is the father. That means the first person is the father of the second one. So M should be the father of T. Idea clear? This is how you're supposed to solve these coded relation. In case, for the previous question you had more than one option, this would be the way we would go with it. Alright, so our family tree is ready. Now what are we supposed to find? What is the relationship of P with T? So who is P to T? P's son's child is T. So obviously P would be the grandfather. And from whose side is that? T's father's father. So obviously I would say paternal grandfather would be the answer to this question. Idea clear? So basically in blood relations we'll have how many types of questions? There are 3 types of questions. One is 3-4 statements. You jumbled up there, you decode it, draw your diagram, get your answer. The second type is you get a puzzle where you are concerned about how many generations, how many couple, you draw the tree, get your answer. And third type is this coded relation where instead of statements they are going to give you certain symbols. You decode them. First priority obviously is looking for perfect symbol combination, eliminating options based on gender. If there are more than one options possible, we'll simply solve those one of the 2 options and get the other one sorted. Alright everybody, so this is all with the chapter of blood relations. I hope you have understood. Thank you.